Well. Can't say I didn't see this signing coming. In fact, I expected this one to happen. I was talking about it yesterday, so I'm not surprised to see the Ravens make this move. All right, then. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Ravens flock, we have a signing. And this signing is not a surprising one to me personally, but, it is something we're going to talk about. So as we all know, the running back situation for the Ravens has been a little bit tough in terms of their depth. Of course, we all know we lost J.K. Dobbins in the final preseason game against Washington, where he tore his ACL. To make matters worse, last Thursday in practice, we had Justice Hill suffer an injury, and it's now a season-ending injury. Good God, it's been rough. So many injuries. But yeah, he suffered a knee injury. Come to find out, he tore his ACL as well. He's out for the season. So now the Ravens are down 2 backs. You've got Williams, you've got Edwards. Edwards is your number 1, Williams is your number 2. So obviously, with only 2 backs on the roster, the Ravens were going to have to make some moves to get another back there. Now, losing Justice Hill is really going to hurt because he mostly played on special teams, and he was an effective special teams player. So losing him is definitely going to suck, and it's going to hurt. But it is something we're going to have to deal with. So the Ravens have definitely been scrounging and just, scrambling around trying to get backs here to see which ones they can sign, because they brought in quite the amount of backs. And they're just looking to see anybody that can fit in and anyone that they could look to sign and bring on. Well, one of those backs they brought in for a workout was Le'Veon Bell. And we talked about this yesterday. Le'Veon Bell working out with the Ravens. And I said this specifically. I wasn't sure whether or not the Ravens will make this move. But it would make sense to bring on Le'Veon Bell for one reason and one reason only. His ability to be a weapon in the passing game. What was one thing J.K. Dobbins wanted to do this year? He wanted to be a receiving weapon outside for Lamar Jackson. He wanted to be in the backfield and catch passes as well as be a dynamic runner. He wanted to be more of a Christian McCaffrey type player or an Alvin Kamara. He wanted to be more of that, take that next step. And he spent the whole offseason working to get to that level. So it's so unfortunate that we won't be able to see him do that. And it sucks that he's gone. But again, our prayers are out with him. Hopefully the recovery process will go well. We'll see him next year. But he worked on that in the offseason. So now we don't have that. And with Gus Edwards, he can definitely be one of those guys that we can put out in the backfield and use as another weapon for Lamar Jackson. But it's not something we really do with him that much. That was more so supposed to be J.K. Dobbins' role in that case. He was a number 1 back. He was going to be that dynamic runner and also be a useful weapon for Lamar in the backfield. Meanwhile, Gus would be more of the physical runner, and that's what he was going to do. It was a great 1-2 punch we were going to have, that great running back duo. Unfortunately, we don't have that. So now that Gus is number 1 and we have Williams at number 2, we needed to bring somebody in that can help out with the depth, but also somebody that can be useful in the backfield and contribute to what J.K. Dobbins wanted to do on our offense this season. And you got one, Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell knows what he's doing when it comes to playing that position. Not only was he a dynamic runner when he was with Pittsburgh, but he was also a very useful weapon in the backfield. So not only was he contributing to the running game, he was contributing to the receiving game as a receiver. And boy, was he doing that effectively. Now, we obviously know this is not the same Le'Veon Bell that we saw with Pittsburgh. It's been a couple years, so we don't even know what Le'Veon's going to look like. He's probably not going to be nearly close to that level of play. Who knows? We'll see. But bringing a guy in that has experience being a weapon in both the run and the pass game, that matters. And since JK's not here, bringing in Le'Veon Bell and having him come on, that definitely helps. So, because of that, the Ravens made the move, and they officially signed Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad. Now, he's going to be on the practice squad for now, but obviously, he's not going to be there for long. They're definitely looking to put him onto the 53-man roster, so we'll see that happen in the next couple days. He will be on our official 53-man roster. We'll probably talk about that when it happens. Not much to really talk about there, but except maybe we'll talk about in terms of where his specific position is, because I've seen a lot of people debate this today, whether or not Le'Veon Bell will be the 2nd or the 3rd back, because, Williams definitely takes that 2nd back position, but Le'Veon Bell, his resume is shown, and he has the experience, so he knows what he's doing. It wouldn't be surprising to see him immediately take that 2nd back position. But we'll talk about that once he officially makes a 53-man roster. We're just talking about him on the practice squad now. So, yeah, they officially signed him on. I do not know if the Ravens are looking to bring in another back. They may potentially want to. Well, first of all, they were planning to keep 4 backs, and they had 4 backs until J.K. Dobbins went down, so that was unfortunate. So I think they're probably going to look to bring someone in. Obviously, Freeman was another guy they brought in, and I think Freeman definitely fits what the Ravens love to do in the run game. So I could see them potentially signing Freeman. But one thing that definitely came up that was interesting was, I believe, the Saints release Latavius Murray. Yeah, Latavius Murray. So he's on the lookout. Yeah, Latavius Murray. Yeah, Latavius Murray was definitely released, but I'm trying to see if the Ravens can actually try to get him. That's the thing. Because, I mean, will we even have the cap space to get him? I might have to talk about that a little bit later. Because, yeah, Murray was released by the Saints, and he would definitely be somebody that could definitely contribute to this run game if the Ravens were able to get him. But I don't know about the cap space there, so yeah, we'll talk about that later. But, right now they got Le'Veon Bell on the practice squad. They'll definitely elevate him to the 53-man roster, but right now he'll just stay on the practice squad. In terms of bringing in somebody else and potentially signing a 4th person, I don't know. Freeman may look to be that guy, but we'll see what the Ravens choose to do. Obviously, they're trying to get this whole running back depth situation figured out before Monday night's game against the Raiders in Las Vegas, so we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, you know, Le'Veon Bell is officially signed. I expected this to happen. I'm not surprised. Again, I spoke on this yesterday. What he can bring to the table is not going to be a lot because Le'Veon Bell is not the Le'Veon Bell of old, and he's not going to be the number 1 back. But what Le'Veon Bell can bring to the table is a guy who, you know, can be able to contribute to the running game as well as the passing game. So he can be a great runner and a receiving threat for Lamar Jackson. And obviously, even though Le'Veon Bell still isn't the Le'Veon Bell from Pittsburgh, he is coming into a situation that was better than the situation he was dealing with when he was on the Jets. You know, and of course, we know he played with the Chiefs, but they just really didn't utilize him. I don't even think he got a single snap in the Super Bowl. They just didn't really utilize Le'Veon the way he was expected to be utilized by the Chiefs. They kind of had their own situation. They had that situation figured out. They didn't really want to use him. They kind of had Larry. Yeah, they had that whole situation figured out. They really didn't utilize Le'Veon the way he could really be utilized. And the Jets didn't really have the facilities to really utilize Le'Veon Bell the way he can be utilized. But in the Ravens offense, yeah, he doesn't have to be the Le'Veon Bell of old. But with Lamar Jackson as our quarterback and the fact that we're a run-first team and we have the best running game in the league and the most creative running game in the league, you can definitely bet that Le'Veon Bell will be a productive player here in the run game. He's not going to be the Le'Veon Bell of old or just go off for over 1,000 yards. I doubt we'll see that happen. He's probably not going to get nearly as much snaps as people were expecting him to get. But he can still be very productive. I feel like when it comes to having Lamar as your quarterback, because he's the most, you know, he's a dual threat quarterback, but he's also the most explosive runner, or at least one of the most explosive and elusive runners in the game, man, as a whole. As a whole, he's one of the most elusive, if not the most elusive quarterback. But what he can do with his legs is so terrifying that defenders will zone in on him. You will see the entire defense zone in on Lamar Jackson. That's how dangerous his legs are. And, you know, because of that, it makes it easier for our backs. So Le'Veon Bell is going to get some great opportunities. Because when you have Lamar Jackson, we have one of the best young quarterbacks, one of the best dual threat quarterbacks, and arguably the most elusive running talent in the league. Nobody is as creative as Lamar Jackson is with his legs. When you have that threat there, it makes the back's jobs easier. And I've spoken on this throughout the years. As long as number 8 is our quarterback and he's under center, the Ravens will always have one of the best running games in the league because these running backs will get so many opportunities. And with our offensive line being better than the situation Le'Veon Bell dealt with the Jets, Le'Veon is going to have an opportunity to eat here. So he could be productive. I don't really care what he does in the running game. I care what he's going to do in terms of the receiving game. Can he be a reliable weapon? Can he be an actual weapon Lamar Jackson can be able to utilize in the pass game? That's what I'm worried about for the most part. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. You know, he's definitely going to the 53-man roster. There's so much we could talk about this. We'll probably be talking about this maybe as we get closer and closer. Maybe some point later down the week, we'll probably discuss the whole Le'Veon Bell situation. Once he makes the 53-man roster, we'll probably talk about what he can do. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got. Le'Veon's on the practice squad. Soon he will be on the 53-man roster, and we'll see what happens in terms of other moves the Ravens can make. With that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!